Okay, so here we are at the front porch, unit number 2, and we're going to go through this unit real quick. Okay, so we're going to go upstairs here. So we're up here at the very top, and we've got carpeted stairs, a carpeted bedroom here, carpeted living room, and then we have the kitchen. So one thing I want to point out to you, and maybe I can do this, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but that floor is kind of humped right there as we're going back towards the window. I'm going to walk it and just see how pronounced that is. Oh yeah, this is really soft through here. God only knows what this carpet is covering here, but we're actually going downhill here. Now, with that being said, I'm looking at this window, this opening here, and I'm not seeing there's a lot of sagging going on there. And I'm not seeing a lot of sagging there. But this definitely is dropping down towards the back there. And remember, this goes back into the kitchen, I'm thinking. So we're in a different part of the house here. The other thing is, here we've got some lathing that's exposed. And thing to keep in mind on these plasters, and again, please don't, I'm just not assuming, but when they built this house, the guy, the trimmers, the guys at Frame that weren't paying much attention to measuring, so then they left it up to the plasterers to come in and plaster it and make everything smooth. So what they do is they squish that plaster between these openings, and then when it dried, it formed what's called a key, and that's what holds your ceilings and walls on. And then over time, those keys have become broken off, and that's why you'll see cracking and stuff like that in these older homes in the plaster ceilings. But I've certainly seen worse. Now, there is access to get above into the attic space, but if you bought this, whoever it be, he cannot be a real big guy because he's not going to get up there. So here we are in this living room area, and actually, I think they probably use this as kind of a bedroom also. Kind of a, probably a little bit of everything here, but they're calling it a 1-bedroom unit, so probably the unit in the back is a bedroom is what they're calling it, but somebody could definitely use this as a bedroom too. And again, all older windows here. Some form of LVP in here. And here's the panel for this particular unit. It says 100 amp there. I don't ever assume that. That's why anything you'd buy, we want to have a whole house guy come in, and at the minimum, we want these guys pulling off the front cover to make sure the wiring underneath, there's not a lot of double taps and things like that. So here we have the kitchen and a very small stove, electric stove, and modest cabinet space. And here's where the bath is. And again, they've kind of, just like they did down below, they've jury-rigged this thing. And they've got a clawfoot tub. And they've got something that they can use as a shower. And this stuff on the wall here is what I call Marlite, and I hate it. It's low cost. It doesn't hold back water at all. But a lot of guys use it in these homes because it's fast just to get it done. And then here's the stool here and vanity. And I'm gonna wave at you just so you can see. The last thing you need to be focused on is my mug. But I tell you what, the shingles overall look pretty good, especially for the amount of pressure they've been under. But the biggest thing I'm going to tell you on this thing really slopes to the rear. Once we get here, we're walking basically downhill back into this area. And remember, that's where they did a lot of cutting and stuff like that too. But I'm just going to take a look here at these shingles. I don't see any shingles missing. I don't see any torn or anything like that. So I am hopeful that this is helpful to you, and we'll kind of go from there. I am going to check. Usually most of these units are going to have some form of GFCI protection, and we do have that here. I didn't check downstairs, but I'm guessing, I don't even know if we've got a plug-in here. But if we do have a plug-in, it better be GFCI. So there's one that I can identify for sure. And this one's on a GFCI. And that's really not very cool because it's right near a water source, so they've got to have it. But if that pops, then they're not going to know anything about whether the refrigerator is shut off, and you could have spoilage. So that's not necessarily a good thing either. So anyway, I'm out of here on this one, and we'll go to the next property.